Hi. I want to start by telling you a story. I was pushing my daughter Alma in northwest London next to Finchley Road in a very crowded area. And it was a cold winter day. The bus that we didn't go on was idling for a while, and then it took off, and it blew a nice, warm cloud of air towards us. I thought, oh, how lovely. But then I realized it must be not so healthy. My young brother was studying biochemistry in Cambridge, and he helped me to put my head around air pollution. So Brizi is an ecosystem to protect babies in prams against air pollution. It contains a sensor, an app, and an actual fan filter that is activated by the sensor. We are dealing with outdoor portable air pollution protection for babies right now and young toddlers, and we are the only product in that market. According to the World Health Organization, 92% of the people who live in urban areas, which is most of the population in this world, live in areas where pollution exceeds the recommended level. When we're talking about pollution, the World Health Organization allows us to be exposed to gas pollution, depends on the concentration in the air and for how long we are there. But when they're talking about nanometric particles of pollution, of metal, dust, rubber, the recommendation is 0. You can see on the slide how much money we lose on healthcare costs and how many lost of days of work. Children are more vulnerable because their pram puts them around 60 centimeters from the ground. When you're pushing your child in a stroller, you breathe much better air than he is breathing. And the most dangerous particles of metal, dust, and rubber are near to the ground. People confuse pollution with particles from biological source that can help the immune system develop. But plastic and metal and rubber cannot help the immune system. They just sink into the lungs and create long-term effects on the baby's health. So we are trying to protect the most vulnerable one first. The effect of pollution on babies can be a limited functioning of the lungs, a limit to the development of the lungs, also the brain. It can create asthma and chronic diseases that they will carry for a lifetime, like allergies, etc. Babies are not only exposed in China, where in some nurseries and schools they have the playground in kind of a bubble with purified air. And a lot of the days they get warnings and they cannot take their babies out of the house. And it has other effects than immediate health. You want your baby to be able to go out and play outdoor. I was sure I'm going to raise my babies next to a lake with green trees around it, and I find myself in the city, commuting with everyone and breathing polluted air. So Brizi took on itself a mission to protect babies outdoor. That's where the technology comes into play. So we have 4 layers of filtration in order to purify the air that we take into the device. I will explain how the device works in a second, but I want to explain a little bit about the technology. So we have the first mesh layer that protects from the larger nanometric size particles, and it's in order to reduce the strain on the filter itself. The second layer is a HEPA filter or nanometric woven fabric, and this clears the PM10 and PM2.5 to PM1, the small particles that sink into the lungs. That's exactly the filter that they use with premature babies in hospitals in order to clean the air. The third layer is active carbon that's been used to clean air in war zones and areas like that. But the most exciting development is a photocatalytic paint that can break the gases that are fumes from burnt fuels of cars or idling cars, mainly diesel, and make them non-toxic and not dangerous, not a health hazard. This was only one part, how to filter the air, but air moves in cloud formation. If you filter the air and only blow it from one side, the air is never going to stay in the breathing area of the baby, especially when you move with the baby or a gust of wind comes into place outdoor. That's why our lab testing was a field test, actually. After the lab testing of how good the filter is, we needed to measure if it does what it says on the box, if the cloud of clean air stays in the breathing area of the baby. What we did, we incorporated aerodynamic. We work with the design office in Old Street. They're called MAP Project Office. And we had to decide what's the size of the battery, the size of the fan, how much air we blow out in front of the face of the babies. Babies don't like air to be blown into their face. We create a cloud of a higher pressure in front of the baby breathing area that prevents the ambient air, the polluted air, to reach that area. We had to make sure that the device is quiet and, again, efficient and can last for longer. Now, parents are very busy. That's why we incorporated the sensor in the first place. So the sensor detects pollution and starts the fan filter. Then we realized that we are onto something, and if the sensor also uploads data to an app, it becomes an app of air pollution. The best way to protect your baby is actually to avoid air pollution. Usually it's the same pattern. You go from home to visit friends, you go to the supermarket, and you can learn which streets are cleaner and less polluted in your area. I'm going to skip the result of the test, but we can clean the air by up to 80% when pollution levels are really high. We have a whole ecosystem. We have a little bit of excitement from the media. And Brizi is very easy. You put it on the pram, the sensor detects the pollution, starts the cleaning process, and your baby is protected. Obviously, some areas around the world are more aware to air pollution. In most of the houses in China, you will find purifiers for the air indoor. We are doing it outdoor. And our model is, to sell the units, to sell the filters, because when they are saturated, you will need to replace the filter. The app will tell you when the filter is saturated. And then we are going to offer the data for free for every user, apart from institutionals that needs that data. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yossi Romano. So, Levi, you look very excited with the question.
Incredibly excited. And it's great. It's really good. The challenge is Alibaba and Amazon are full of folks making claims, and they come in at probably lower price points than your very high-quality product. So what is your defensible technology, or how do you defend yourself from a flood of basically toys?
So our HEPA filter is manufactured in the UK, and it's a medical grade. Same for the carbon filter. The shell itself is manufactured in China, and we have a partner for manufacturing who is our distributor in China. He is the best one to protect our product in his region. Secondly, we collaborate with the University of Surrey, with Professor Prashant Kumar, a graduate from Cambridge as well, and his lab is the leading lab when it comes to air pollution, and especially urban air pollution. The other thing, we take samples from the filters, the used filters, and we analyze them to know what's in the air that we need to filter, and we adjust the filter to the humidity and to the pollutants that are in each region. So it will be very difficult to follow our suit, you know what I mean?
Hi. As a grandparent with 4 small grandchildren, I feel like I want to go and buy some of these already. So again, I'm going to ask about cost. How much, what's the price point? And also, for how long can you use it? Like from a newborn baby through to what age?
It's mainly when the baby is sitting in a pram.
Yeah.
And you can put it in storage when you wait for your newborn baby, because usually they come in multiple. The price point right now is around $150 for the consumer. We will reduce the price when we move from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. We want to protect as many babies as we can, and we feel privileged to do what we do.
And so how long?
Last question.
Yeah.
How long does it last? Like, do you buy when it lasts for years?
It buys for the battery lifetime is about 7 or 8 years. It's a rechargeable. The cartridge, it depends how long you use it and how polluted the area is. So, but every cartridge costs around $5. You will have subscription of few of them. As long as you didn't open it from the package, it's still fresh and good to go.
Thank you very much.